Coming up tonight on SLU News 22.
Closing schools.
A rare spring nor'easter.
Walmart bribes.
And a Secret Service scandal.
Plus, national news and weather. Live from the Bush Student Center, this is SLU News 22.
Good evening, I'm Sean Everson.
And I'm Amanda Honigfort.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Billiken Dining is holding a video contest. Students are encouraged to submit a video centered around the favorite thing about Billiken Dining by May 1st. The winning team will win a chef's table. Teams can be up to 6 people.
The Great Issues Committee presents Mitch Album on Wednesday, April 25th at 7 p.m. in the Bush Student Center, Wool Ballrooms. The discussion will focus on the topic Have a Little Faith and will include insights from his new book. Doors will open at 6:30 p.m. with a book signing to follow the talk. Certain titles will be on sale before and during the event.
David is in our weather center with our first forecast. We saw a bit of rain this morning, and I heard Relay for Life last night was on the wet side. Are we looking at more rain, David?
Well, Sean, we did see some rather heavy showers during the morning hours, and if you were out at Relay for Life, I'm pretty sure you got a little bit wet. I saw people coming back around 2:30, even 3 this morning. They were wet with rain, but that rain has moved out of the area and will continue to dry out for the overnight hours. Currently, we're looking at cloudy skies here at SLU with temperatures right around 54 degrees, and temperatures will continue to fall off a little bit overnight as those clouds clear out. A dew point of 37, so the air is beginning to dry out as well. Across the metro, temperatures are hanging right around 55 degrees, 55 out at Lambert, 55 in downtown St. Louis, 55 in Scott Air Force Base as well. There are those clouds that are out there right now. A couple isolated showers, especially to the south of St. Louis, still ongoing. But those will die out after the sun goes down, and we'll see the clouds begin to break up as well. So your overnight forecast, clearing skies. We will see mostly clear skies by tomorrow morning. Light winds. We could see a little bit of frost, especially in the outlying areas, as temperatures do drop into the middle and lower 30s in some cases. We'll show you more about that in the full forecast coming up in a little bit, as well as some warmer temperatures to talk about. So we'll see you back here in a little bit. Back to you.
Thanks, David. Students for Life will be hosting a 5K run on Saturday, May 5th. The run will benefit the Pregnant and Parent Student Assistance Fund, which financially assists SLU students who are currently pregnant or parenting. Online registration for the run is only $15 and is open until Friday, May 4th. Day of the run registration is $20. Those who register by April 23rd will receive a run t-shirt.
St. Louis City's budget has passed through the first of many hurdles at City Hall. Mayor Francis Slay, Comptroller Darlene Green, and Board of Aldermen President Lewis Reed, who make up the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, approved the budget on Friday. It will now be sent to the Board of Aldermen, who can shift money around but cannot add to the overall level of spending. This budget represents a $30 million increase in spending over last year. However, according to Slay, the rising cost of pensions, especially in the police and fire departments, is leading to cuts. A budget must be approved by June 30th.
Illinois Governor Pat Quinn wants to raise his retirement age for Illinois public employees and requires them to contribute more money to their retirement funds. These are two key pieces of Quinn's bold plan to shore up the state pension systems. They're now about $85 billion short of the money they'll eventually need. The Democratic governor says the retirement age should be raised to 67 and employee contributions should climb by 3%.
More than 3,000 students will be displaced when a network of St. Louis charter schools run by Virginia-based Imagine Schools Incorporated are closed at the end of the school year. The 6-school closure is so massive it may be unprecedented nationally. Officials are trying to find spots for the students in St. Louis public schools and other chartered schools in the city. According to state education officials, the schools are closing due to academic and fiscal management problems.
A major snowstorm? We'll tell you where coming up. Plus, how would you like to fire everyone at your company? One United Kingdom company managed to do just that in a way. That and more after the break. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Heavy rains and even snow will be impacting a large portion of the East Coast and interior Northeast as a rare late-season nor'easter begins to ramp up early this week. Strong winds of 30 to 50 miles per hour may lead to downed trees and power lines from the mid-Atlantic up to New England as the storm moves north from the Gulf of Mexico. 2 to 4 inches of heavy rain are expected from Washington, D.C. through New York City and Boston and may result in flooding of low-lying areas. Meanwhile, heavy snows are expected across western Pennsylvania and New York, where 8 to 12 inches of snow is possible. Michael Eckert, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service, said that this will be a very intense nor'easter. If it had occurred during winter, we would be looking at a very large blizzard. However, since it is spring, the conditions will not be as severe, but large airports could still be looking at major delays.
Walmart's largest foreign subsidiary, Walmart de Mexico, has been ensnared in a bribery investigation. Walmart de Mexico has been orchestrating a campaign of bribery to win market dominance. In its rush to build stores, said a former Walmart exec, the company had paid bribes to obtain permits in virtually every corner of the country. When Walmart became aware of these practices in 2005, they were urged by their lead investigator to look further into the misconduct and act appropriately. Instead, they covered it up. The paper trail of hundreds of suspected payments totaled more than $24 million. There are also, in a confidential report to his superiors, Walmart's lead investigator, a former FBI special agent, summed up the initial findings this way. Quote, "There is reasonable suspicion to believe that Mexico and USA laws have been violated."
A Senate committee will expand its inquiry into the U.S. Secret Service this week, following a scandal involving prostitutes in Colombia in advance of a recent trip by the president. So far, 12 members of the agency have been implicated and 6 have left their jobs. In addition, the United States military is investigating 11 of its own troops for possible heavy drinking and consorting with prostitutes.
George Zimmerman, the neighborhood watch volunteer who fatally shot Trayvon Martin, could remain behind bars until next week, his lawyer said on Saturday, citing concerns about raising enough funds for his $150,000 bond. Attorney Mark O'Mara visited Zimmerman on Saturday, where he is being held at the John E. Polk Correctional Facility in Sanford, Florida. Prosecutors had asked for a $1 million bond or that Zimmerman be held in jail until trial. With only 10% cash payment needed to secure bond, Zimmerman could be freed with $15,000 from his family. O'Mara spoke to reporters on Saturday saying that Zimmerman is focused on getting out, but is aware that it is a long, long process.
Socialist candidate François Hollande declared victory Sunday in the first round of France's presidential election, setting up a showdown with incumbent Nicolas Sarkozy in May. The proclamation, made to a crowd of supporters, is consistent with exit polls detailed on French television. Results from France's Interior Ministry show that the same placement about a very tight contest. With about 75% of votes counted late Sunday, Hollande had 27.9%, followed by Sarkozy at 26.7%. Far-right candidate Marine Le Pen garnered 19.3% of this early vote. Jean-Luc Mélenchon, on the extreme left, had 10.8%, and centrist François Bayrou had 9.8%.
According to a top Iranian official, his government is currently coping with the top-secret U.S. spy drone captured in Iran's armed forces last year. There is almost no part to us in this aircraft. We recovered part of the data that had been erased. There were many codes and characters, but we deciphered them by the grace of God, said General Amir Ali Hajizadeh, chief of the Aerospace Division of the powerful Revolutionary Guards. Coming up next, your work week forecast. Stick around. And welcome back. Chief Meteorologist David Keller is here with us now for your extended forecast. David, it's been a little cool lately. Are we seeing a warm up anytime soon?
Well, you know, we are dealing with below normal temperatures, especially today and yesterday. And we're going to see a little bit more cool weather before we go into a warm up as we head towards midweek, but we will have to pay a price with that warm up. With temperatures warming up, we have another chance for showers and thunderstorms. So as we head into our weather headlines, we can talk about those cooler temperatures to start off the week and those clouds as well. They'll be taking a break as we have drier and warmer weather as we head towards midweek. But with that warmer weather, we have thunderstorms to talk about, and that rainy pattern might stick around through the weekend even. This morning we saw a low temperature right around 45 degrees, and then it didn't warm up much, a high of only 58. That is well below the normal high of 70 for this time of year, and well below that record of 90 degrees set back in 1925. We are not going to be setting any records this week, low or high temperature records, as we're going to be right in the middle with temperatures around normal as we head towards midweek. Still below normal out there, 54 here in St. Louis, 55 down to the west in Springfield. And it's pretty cool off to our east where they're seeing quite a large storm. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We are still seeing these clouds wrapping around a storm system that pushed through earlier today. That's why we saw the rain this morning. Those clouds will begin to break up as we head through the overnight hours as high pressure from the north and west builds into our region. But as we talked about earlier in the newscast, the Northeast is dealing with a nor'easter, and a big one at that, developing off the east coast of Virginia and North Carolina right now. And that's going to be moving up into the north and east as we head through the next couple of days, and they're going to see some heavy rain, especially from Washington, D.C. through New York and Boston, with heavy snows in western Pennsylvania and New York, where they could see 4 to 8, maybe even 12 inches of snow in some areas. So a big northeast storm, especially for this time of year. Well, we're just talking about that high pressure moving in. And cooler temperatures overnight as well. As the clouds clear, temperatures are going to fall. 37 here in St. Louis, 35 in Alton, 34 in Highland. And some of those outlying areas, they could drop down to around 32. So we are talking about frosty conditions to start off your morning. So as you head off to classes at 8 a.m., 42 degrees, you will want to grab that jacket, as it is going to be a rather chilly start with northwest winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Warming up to around 55 by noon, and we'll top out around 63 tomorrow afternoon. So warmer than today for sure, but still below normal. Well, we will be warming up as we head towards Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's our 7-day forecast. 75 on Tuesday, 79 on Wednesday, and then there's that chance for showers and thunderstorms. The cold front does push through Wednesday into Thursday. That drops our temperatures a little bit on Thursday, 68, but look at that. That front doesn't go very far. It wobbles around in the region. So chances for showers and thunderstorms Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even into Sunday. So a little bit of a stormy pattern setting up for the second half of the week. Nice to start off, though, especially tomorrow and Tuesday.
Thanks, David.
The Blues are moving on after a win last night. We'll have the details coming up, plus the United Kingdom company that fired all of its employees with one email. Stay with us.
Welcome back. The Blues secured a spot in the second round of the NHL playoffs Saturday night. Tonight, there's a chance they could find out who their opponent will be in round 2. Jamie Langenbrunner and David Perron scored in a 45-second span in the third period, and the St. Louis Blues woke up in time to put away the San Jose Sharks 3-1 and wrap up the first round series in 5 games Saturday night. Joe Thornton scored in the final minute of the second period for San Jose, and the Sharks were seemingly in control before the flurry that ended their season. Brian Elliott made 26 saves, and Andy McDonald ended all doubt with an empty net goal in the final minute. St. Louis, the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, won a playoff series for the first time in a decade against a franchise that reached the conference finals the previous 2 years. Before this series, St. Louis hadn't won a playoff game in 8 years. When the Blues start the second round, they'll either be facing LA, Phoenix, or Nashville, with play resuming as early as Friday.
An iconic figure turned 50 today. Seattle's Space Needle will celebrate its 50th anniversary on April 21st. Created as the centerpiece of a 1962 space-themed exhibition, the 605-foot tall Space Needle has been described as looking like a UFO on stilts, and for many years was the tallest building west of the Mississippi River. Today, the still futuristic-looking needle is an iconic Seattle landmark and the city's most visited attraction. It is also home to one of the few remaining rotating restaurants in the world.
At least one penguin at the St. Louis Zoo appears to be feisty, opponent of Newt Gingrich, or at least one of his fingers. The Republican presidential candidate is sporting a small bandage on his finger after getting nipped by a Magellanica penguin during his tour of the zoo on Friday. Zoo spokeswoman Susan Gallagher says a small bandage was all the medical care required.
1,300 employees of a UK firm were told to clean out their desks on Friday. Workers at the investment firm Alviva Investors got the shock Friday when the company accidentally sent an email with leaving instructions intended for one departing employee to the entire worldwide staff of 1,300 people. The firm's human resources department realized its mistake and recalled the offending message 25 minutes later and, soon afterwards, sent out another email apologizing to staff for the error. Company spokesman Paul Lockstone said, "The email was a standard message sent to people leaving the company, covering things as handling back company equipment and confidentiality rules, and did not tell recipients they were fired. It said in January it would shed around 160 jobs, about 12% of its global workforce. Lockstone said he did not know why the intended recipient of the email was leaving the company." Very interesting story there. That would be quite a shock to get that email out of the blue.
It certainly would. I mean, if the whole company you're all laid off all at once, I guess if they're shutting down, but
interesting way to tell your employees you were bankrupt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bye, everybody. You're fired. All right,
What?
let's go.
Well, shoot.
Oh, hold on. Never mind. We still have to finish the newscast. As far as the forecast goes, we're not getting fired at all. We have very nice weather coming up over the next couple of days. Hey, we're not fired yet. We still have to finish. Temperatures will be warm for Monday and Tuesday. High temperatures in the mid-60s on Monday, up into the 70s by Tuesday. Chances for showers and thunderstorms as we head towards Wednesday, Thursday, and even into the weekend as a cold front hangs around the region. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Great. Thanks, David. Well, that's our show for the night. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week.
And don't forget, you can always get the latest news online at SLU-TV.slu.edu or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a great week.